Psst. Hey. Hey, you. Yeah, you. Get a little closer. Yeah, I won't bite. Alright, I have a question for you. What's the difference between this and this? What? You don't know? Twin, you're supposed to know. This is like your game and everything. Like, do you not see the difference? It's very obvious to me. Yo, what's good? Welcome back to another schizophrenic episode of the devs not knowing the difference between a sword style and a fighting style. And low-key, I think they're doing it on purpose. That's my theory. But yeah, basically, I'll be going over the obtainments for both specs, and then I'll move on to the max damage showcase. So if you do enjoy, I'd very much appreciate it if you do like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. And without further ado, let me just get straight into it.
Mi amigo, véndame un par de zapatos, hágame el favor, que sean estos. ¿Este zapato lo tiene mi amigo? Ese.
Alright, so first I'll start off with the GOAT, Anos Voldigoat. All pun intended, by the way.
Man,
but to actually obtain him, you're gonna have to come to the brand new Academy Island. So right here, you will have to go inside of the gates and you'll find the boss summoner NPC. So right here, of course, as you increase the difficulty, you're gonna need more requirements, and the requirement is 1 calamity seal. Wait, what's that I'm hearing? How to actually talk to him? Oh, so to actually conquer the ability to speak to this ancient NPC, you're gonna have to do a little bit of a quest. Every single day, these bits make me realize how corny I am. Holy hell. Alright, so the first NPC you'll find right here, the Demonite Core quest. I don't know why I said first NPC, there was only one quest. But Demonite Core quest, of course I've already completed it, but if you do talk to him, he's gonna give you a quest to find 2 Demonite Cores. The first one is located in the opposite side right here. So on top of this tree branch, you'll just, if I can get up here. And yeah, basically you're just gonna acquire it, and yeah, that's basically all. For the second one, you will find on top of the castle. So right here, next to this, I don't know what you call it. Like, alright, so once you're done with the Demonite Core quest, you'll have to talk to the NPC, and you might be wondering how you actually get Calamity Seal. To actually obtain them, you're gonna have to go to right here. And actually, I should probably rephrase that. You can kill any NPC, but the best ones to AFK are these guys right here, the Academy Teachers. Also, make sure to take the quest for some extra gems, extra money, and extra XP, I guess, but it doesn't really matter. And yeah, by the way, I just want to note out 3 things about this island specifically. Actually, not 3, just 2. Number 1, W building. Yeah, so everybody knows that you can phase through walls in the anime. So the lore accuracy of this is very beautiful in my opinion. So you can phase through some parts and some parts no. But yeah, very, very accurate in my opinion. Fix your maps. But yeah, that's the first one. The second one is, we all know that one episode where Gyu fought Anos and Gyu won, of course. So yeah, we all know that.
We? Who's we?
Yeah, that's basically all I wanted to point out in this island. Now moving on to the actual obtainment. Alright, so first things first, you'll find the Anos NPC on top of this building right here. And the requirements are going to be the Demon King title, Voldigoat's clan, 65 Calamity Seals, 12 demonic fragments, 6 demonic shards, 2 destruction eyes, and 1 imperial mark. To obtain all of them, at least almost all of them, you will have to kill the Anos boss right here. This is normal difficulty boss, so he's pretty beefy. But the demonic fragments you can get from here, demonic shard, destruction eye, imperial mark. For the Anos outfit, I have not really like enchanted it to know how good it actually is, but I think it's better, if not as good as Gilgamesh armor. So yeah, please do let me know in the comments, since I will not be grinding for it. Alright, and now for the clan. So for the Voldigoat clan, you will have to use a brand new thing they added this update called Clan Reroll. And let me tell you, it is fun. So this mechanic, basically you can like spin your clan, and you can also store them. So they added the brand new stores. So this is the Voldigoat clan. For the buffs, it actually gives, it is 25% damage 35% max HP, 7% melee damage, 10% damage reduction, and 25% damage to NPCs below 50% HP. So I would say this mechanic is very cool, except for the part where you have to gamble. Yeah, that's not very cool.
This is 4K! How did they get you in 4K? That ain't me.
Alright, in order to get the Gyat Monarch himself, Sun Jinwoo, you'll have to come to the dungeon island and you'll find that they added a brand new dungeon called Double Dungeon. So pretty obvious. And another thing I need to say is that they actually did not allow you to buy this one. So I don't know if they're gonna add it later, but as of the day of the update, they did not do it. So yeah, it is a good thing in my opinion, since it would be pretty boring if we just hopped in and got it immediately. But yeah, that's just me though. Alright, so to actually obtain him, you'll have to speak to this NPC right here. And the requirements are going to be King of Shadows, Sun Jinwoo, like the original sword, this one. Let me go to my sword section. So yeah, this Sun Jinwoo right here, you'll need to get it, which is another pretty tedious quest, which is not as tedious as this one, but yeah, basically you're gonna need that one, and 10 Monarch cores, 5 Monarch essence, 2 Kamish daggers, and 1 Shadow crystal. So all of those you get from the raid, including the title and everything. So the title pity is I think 150, which I think is fine because you can repeat the dungeon pretty quickly and as many times as possible. Plus there are 3 bosses per dungeon, so 150 is a reasonable number. But yeah, I'll basically go into the dungeon and meet y'all there. Alright, so this is the dungeon on normal difficulty, and this is the first boss. As you can see, nothing crazy, and these are all the drops you're gonna need. As I said before, the title is 150 pity. But basically, once you get all the items from this like dungeon or whatever you call it, you're basically just gonna acquire the sword, which is gonna be the base Shadow Monarch style without the F ability. And I'll give my thoughts on this dungeon real quick before I move on to the mastery quest. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty disappointed. Like, I was expecting something crazy for like Shadow Monarch Sun Jinwoo, but yeah, they cooked him a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Like, they could have done a real double dungeon of where, like, if you completed this whole dungeon within let's say 4 minutes, you could like open this gate right here and go into the other part where you fight the statue boss or something. I mean, they could have changed that up a little bit. Low-key, they should start listening to my ideas more often. Like, I'd be bringing in fire ideas, but they just don't be listening. But yeah, that's basically all for the dungeon. Now I move on to the mastery quest. Alright, so to actually obtain the mastery on the Shadow Monarch sword, you're gonna have to head over to Starter Island, and all the way at the back you will find the Shadow Monarch Master. Of course, I've already done the mastery quest, so it won't really function for me. But for you, the first quest will be to complete the dungeon 15 times on hard or extreme difficulty. Of course, I just did it on hard 15 times. It's pretty straightforward, nothing I can like explain. But I will have a video soon on how to AFK everything again. Basically a V2, and this one will include dungeons. So yeah, stay tuned for that. But basically, once you've done the first quest, the second quest is going to be to get the Monarch clan. So the Monarch clan, same thing as the Voldigoat clan, you can obtain it from clan rerolls. And this is a message to the devs right now. I genuinely hope you don't like integrate the clan system just like titles on every single spec you add, because it will make grinding extremely boring and straight up kill the game, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, basically you're gonna need to get yourself the clan rerolls to actually get Monarch. By the way, the pity is 500 for legendary clans, so yeah, good luck. They're both legendary clans, by the way. I think I forgot to mention that. And that's gonna be all for the second quest. So let me actually showcase the buffs of the Monarch clan right here. So Monarch clan, it gives a 27% damage buff, 40% max HP buff, 7% sword damage, plus 10% luck, and a 20% chance for +1 drop. So basically, if you get, let's say, a Monarch essence, and you only got 1, there's a 20% chance that it will increase to 2. Or same thing, I don't know if it works with accessories, but I would assume so. And yeah, so on and so forth. Basically, that's how it works. And for the last quest, it is going to be to kill 25 shadow soldiers. So the quest is pretty difficult. This is the grindiest one, and you might be wondering why. It is because shadow soldiers have a very low chance of spawning in the Sanjinwoo dungeons. There isn't really like an indicator, so you'll just have to keep an eye out on the bar on the side. So yeah, they're basically like, they look like normal NPCs, so you won't really be able to tell. And they're not like beefier than normal NPCs either, at least I think, since I one-shot everything. But yeah, overall a very grindy spec, but hey, it was 100% worth it. Now for the fun parts of the video, the showcase. Alright, so for the showcase, first I'm gonna be using Sanjinwoo Shadow Armor. Sadly, I didn't get it E5, I got it to E4. Like, before I started recording, I tried to get it to E5 and I failed. So yeah, pretty depressing, but I'm still getting a pretty good damage buff. It's like 4% off, so you'd be having an 85% damage buff with it, but yeah, 4% is not really that crazy. For my trait, Celestial trait, they added it. It gives a 2.2x damage buff, which is pretty crazy. For the other stuff, it does have weaker defense buff, but it's the same cooldown. So yeah, moving on, I'm gonna be using the Wrath Rune. So I did forget to switch to it, but yeah, Wrath Rune for the 59% damage buff. For the clan, I'm gonna be using Monarch for the Shadow Monarch showcase. And for now, I'll start with the Voldigoat, so I'm going to have to switch to the Voldigoat clan for the extra melee buffs. For my race, I will be using Servant race to showcase the Anos Voldigoat. And for the Shadow Monarch, I'll switch to Slime. And yeah, that's almost everything. Lastly, the title. So for my title, I'm going to be using the brand new title called King of Shadows. By the way, the Dragon Slayer and Star Maiden titles, which you usually, one is for Ragna and this one is for Madoka. She did get buffed, so yeah, they did make them both a event title, which is, it does make sense. So yeah, but basically I'm gonna be using King of Shadows for the 62.5% damage buff. And I think I forgot something. Yeah, I did. Aura, I have Hellfire Aura Legendary plus 15% damage. And yeah, that's, now I basically said everything. Moving on to the showcase, as I said, I'm starting out with Anos. So Anos, let's start off with the M1s. 1.6 million with crit and 34 million without. Alright, pretty good damage, starting off clean. Moving on to the Z ability. Damn, and I can tell that has a lot of range. But yeah, that dealt like 230 million. 300 million. But yeah, this is always gonna crit. I'm just gonna add that into the bonuses. If something like crits multiple times, that's just a plus. So yeah, moving on to the X ability. Damn, 141 million. And it is a single hit, so it is pretty sad, I'm not gonna lie. And it also took a long time to actually activate. So this one is a bad move for me personally, but it does look cool though. Moving on to the C ability. You're telling me we dealing 500 million with the C ability now? Yo, what? Nah, this is crazy. Let me use that again. Yeah, no, this is crazy. It's probably like 500 mil, but like, as I said, it crits multiple times, which means that's a plus for me. Moving on to the V ability. Yeah, nah, that's crazy. 597 million without crit, which is insane. So with crits, it's gonna be dealing like 1.5 billion. All right, I see you, game. I see you. And the cooldown is very short too, and it probably has like a decent amount of range. But yeah, now moving on to the F ability. Yo, I beg your finest pardon. 3.6 billion. Holy, and I did hear that I killed some other NPCs, so that's why I will move back right here. I think this should be enough. And now let me use it again. Yo, I don't know if y'all can tell, but when there's like a ching sound, I don't know how to replicate it, but when you hear it, I'll probably do that in editing, by the way, but when you hear it, just know I killed an enemy, and you're telling me the range is big enough that from here I killed an enemy right there? Nah, that's crazy. I'm probably gonna have to go to the water for this one. Holy. Alright, let me use it again. Hopefully this time I don't hit anything. Yo, we can't be for real. Like this ability can't be real. This range is genuinely crazy. Like, hold on. Maybe it's part of the sound. Let me use it again right here. Alright, finally, still dealing 2.5 billion damage to a single target. And I don't think I crit that much because some people send me screenshots of them dealing way more than that on dummies, but it's definitely crit, of course. But yeah, it's still pretty cool to see. And you bet I'm placing that in the thumbnail. 2.5 billion? Oh my god, that's like... Gilgamesh cannot reach that much. Like, Gilgamesh, Sukuna... For the people who are saying Sukuna is better than Gilgamesh and Gilgamesh is better than Sukuna, Anos is goated. Like, Voldigoat is the goat. All pun intended. Alright, now moving on to the Shadow Monarch. So for him, as I said before, not titles. I will switch to the Slime Race and I will switch to the Monarch clan. Alright, I'm excited for him since he was the hardest one to get. Alright, first let's start off with the M1s. 38.3 million damage. Oh yeah, no, I have it. Alright, as I said, 117 million damage with crit. Alright, so it's already looking pretty good. Moving on to the Z ability. 279 million damage with the first ability. And it has a dash, which is gonna be pretty useful in dungeons. Yeah, that was constant damage. Very, very cool. Moving on to the X ability. Yo, that better be a lot of crits. 449 million with the X. That is insane. Let me use that again. Yeah, it does crit a lot, but hey, that's a bonus. 449, almost half a billion. Alright, moving on to the C ability. $830 mil. Yo, are we for real? Yo, let me use that again. Almost, I think this definitely can reach a billion, by the way. The cooldown is very quick. The ability is very quick. Like... yeah, basically a billion. Like, what? Yo, and they're trying to dial down on power creep, but how can they do that when we have specs like this? Not to say that it's a bad thing. I think it's very, very cool, but still, they need to lower the damage a little bit and stop adding like other ways to buff your damage. But yeah, moving on to the V ability. Alright, 1.5 billion damage. Pretty damn good. Let me use the C ability again. I just want to make sure something. Yeah, nah, C ability is just gonna be so good. But I don't think it has a lot of range. Ooh, hold on. Yeah, nah, maybe it does have a lot of range. Alright, moving on to the F ability. Alright, so it was 2 bursts, and the first one dealt, like Loki. I'm just gonna be honest, I was not paying attention. I was just so mesmerized by the animation, I'm not gonna lie. So let me use it again. Yo, that's might as well be 3 billion damage. I'm gonna write 3 billion in the thumbnail, nobody can stop me. So yeah, it is basically, it didn't crit on one of those hits, so it might as well be 3 billion. But holy animation, holy damage. Yeah, these specs are getting way too OP. I'm not gonna lie, they need to dial it down a little bit. Not to say that I don't like it, but yeah, it's just for the future of the game. Alright, so for my opinion on this update, I think this update is very cool. The sword is worth getting, Anos is worth getting. Like, did you see the range on the F ability? And Sun Jinwoo's damage is just like crazy. So yeah, overall, I'd get both of them. So yeah, it's in general very cool. But my opinion, gambling. That's literally it. Like gambling, just gambling for the clan, gambling for your trades, just like gambling. But hey, I like gambling, so I'm not gonna lie, I kinda rock with this update. But yeah, that's basically gonna be all for the video. I thank you for watching. If you made it all the way till here, comment down Shadow Monarch. But yeah, that's gonna be all, and I'll see y'all later.